Warrington in the first game. Now, welcome to our viewers in 3D for the first time today. Settle back and enjoy rugby league in the raw, because it's the Catalan Dragons against the Harlequins. This is the way the two teams will line up here today, beginning with the Frenchmen from Perpignan, the Catalan Dragons. Clint Greenshields is their fullback. Then they have new signing Damien Blanche, Ben Farrar, Seta Matassar and Cyril Stacoul. Tony Gigot is alongside Scott Dureau. The forwards, David Ferriol, Jean-Philippe Vale and Lopini Paya. Second row, it's Cyril Gossard and Sebastian Ragan. And Gregory Muniz captains the side from loose forward. And so on the bench for Catalan Dragons, it's Ian Henderson, Remy Castly, the veteran Steve Menzies and Jamal Fakir. The coach, new face in Super League 16, Trent Robinson. Harlequins coached by a brand new man as well. More about him as we progress, but they have Luke Dawn at fullback. Then Jamie O'Callaghan, Tony Clubb, David Howell and Chris Melling. Luke Gale is alongside Chad Randall, who operates this year at scrum half. In the forwards, Danny Ward, Andy Ellis, Oliver Wilkes. Rob Purdham captains the side in the second row alongside new boy Mike Burnett with Chris Bailey at loose forward. And then on the bench it's Nick Kuparatsas, Luke Ambler, Osley Krasnicki and Lamont Bryan. And there's the new coach, Rob Powell, 30 years of age and the youngest coach in Super League and British to boot. The French are here and I'm sure that the Harlequins fans are here as well, as Wigan and Saints and Wakefield and Castleford fans also get sorted for what's to come later on. Let's go back to our commentary box now. Steve-O's up there this time alongside Phil Barry, but first of all it's Phil.
Well, the teams are here, the teams are ready, the crowd is ready, but we haven't got a referee. And the men in green, they arrive eventually. Robert Hicks, fresh from the dressing room. No let up here, no time to hang around at Millennium Magic. No let up in the pace. And it's the bottom two in Super League last season who are about to kick off the second game here and hoping for better things this season as Scott Dureau gets us underway. The Catalan Dragons new signing Dureau, one of several new recruits for the new coach Trent Robinson, succeeding Kevin Walters after last season's unhappy campaign. Robinson seasoned in French matters. He's got a French wife in actual fact, former Toulouse coach, the man who succeeded Justin Morgan formerly, and hoping to do as effectively as Justin Morgan has done since he arrived in the British game. It's Harlequins though in possession. They too have a new coach in Rob Powell. They too are hoping for better things this season. That's the fifth tackle on the halfway line, just shy of it, and Luke Gale will put the kick in.
And I think that's a very positive start for Harlequins. In the first game we saw both sides perhaps out of timing with the passing and tackling at times. Some of the cohesion wasn't there as you were perhaps expecting the first game of the season. For that reason it makes sense for these teams to have a very simple approach to start the match.
Well, Harlequins have had a good pre-season. They walloped London Scholars in the City Challenge, City of London Challenge. The Capital Challenge, to give it its correct name, played in the City of London. They then went to Lee and won there, although Rob Powell, the coach, not particularly happy with that performance. Catalan Dragons looking for a 40-20 there, but too much height on that. They lost at home to Crusaders in the warm-up part of the season and then beat Toulouse 24 points to 0, and that was an impressive display.
Well, that was the first kick we saw then downfield from Scott Dureau, the number 7 for Catalan. A great deal of pressure, I think, on him. Obviously, there are several new players, but when you look at the fact that they've had Shane Perry and Brent Sherwin trying to fill the boots that Stacey Jones occupied so successfully for the Dragons for a number of years, a lot of pressure in rugby league on the scrum half. It's a significant position in the field.
There goes Andy Ellis, hoping for a better start to this campaign. In fact, he didn't start last year's campaign because of injury problems. It's a great offload. Luke Dawn. Dawn! It's Gale, and Gale keeps the ball and gets the try. It looked as though the poacher Dawn was going to be there again, but Gale sold the dummy, and Gale gets the opening try of the campaign for the Harlequins. Oh, what a great break that was. Something out of nothing for Rob Powell's side. And they get their first try of the campaign. Through Gale. He's been in good form in those pre-season games. Real sharpness there from Harlequins.
Well, you need players with speed who can trouble opponents. And here, when the ball's created, a beautiful little offload there. And then all of a sudden, it's some footwork evasion. Greenshield takes the man in support, and Luke Gale it was. Chris Bailey provided the offload with some footwork, got himself into space, look in between two defenders, that right-handed pass to Luke Gale, and good speed and awareness to get over for the first try. Brilliant start to the season for the Harlequin side. Look, stepped in between the two defenders, and then the support of the players. There are three inside. He also has Dawn and Chad Randall, the number 7, the number 6, who goes over for the first 4.
And Gale will attempt to convert his own try. Been in good kicking form. He kicked 8 from 9 against the Scholars and 4 from 5 against Lee, so you'd fancy him to get his first Super League success of the season with the boot. He's got his first try of the season, the former Doncaster man. Put the mockers on him. He's missed with that one. But Harlequins getting the first try of the game. What a great try it was.
And what Luke Gale does here, he passes the ball and sticks with Bailey. It's a fantastic offload. I think you're going to see a lot of that in Super League. The RFL trying to speed the ruck up, trying to up the skill levels of our players. It's going to be less about wrestling and more about skills.
Pretty poor defence though by the Catalans, and well spotted there by the Quins. Very close to the ruck, back on the inside. It's going to be a good acquisition, isn't he, Chris Bailey? It was a beautiful offload.
Phil Bailey's younger brother, Chris. Phil now at Salford City Reds. Chris Bailey, new recruit for this Harlequin side.
One of the questions I had for the Harlequin side going into this game was who's going to provide the tries this season? Luke Dawn was the top try scorer last year. He's, of course, in the side, but they lost Jones Bishop and Will Sharp, who came 2nd and 3rd in the try ranks for the Harlequins team last year. So they're going to need some other players to get across that try line if they want to finish higher up the table.
Wilkes to his feet, looking to the referee in the hope of a penalty, but Harlequins retaining possession. That's the 5th tackle. And Chad Randall, wearing that number 7 shirt now, puts the kick in. It's a high one, and it's well taken, and Dawn in support, and Gale will get a second. Or will he? Will the referee refer this to the video ref? He will. But what great thinking that was from Luke Dawn. And Gale in support, but video ref Phil Bentham will have a look at this.
Well, he's confident that the players are onside first, but that's another thing that we'll check. I think the kick goes up, and we go back to the point of are the feet, both feet behind the kicker? I'd say yes on that angle. We'll roll that forward here to see the decision already been made. The next big question is, was the pass made off the floor here? It's good work by Dawn to get up high in the air above Greenshields, steal the ball out of his arms before he gets there. Now then, does his body hit the floor? Have his arms hit the floor? I think they have. That's a pass off the floor.
I'm not sure, Phil. I don't think his elbows touch the floor. It's a tremendous take from Dawn. Is it all in one more movement and motion?
His right arm, it's his.
I think this try will be given, because I don't think that Greenshields has completed the tackle.
It's a great start from London. The Harlequins are electric.
Beautiful high kick. Oh, he does very well indeed here. Surprisingly, you can see that his eyes were not actually looking at the football. And now when he rolls away, the point is, has Greenshields got any part of his arm onto him? I don't think he has, so therefore he has not fulfilled the role of the tackle, and this should be given. And Luke Gale, what a tremendous start by the Quins. What a great opener for their new coach, Rob Powell.
Is it 2 in 2 minutes for Luke Gale? Video ref Phil Bentham adjudicates. The try is awarded. What a start this is for Harlequins. And if the idea was to encourage inventive, imaginative play, then we've seen that in abundance already from this Quins side.
Well, this is a play that a lot of sides do, but Harlequins have done it better than most others here. They've chased. Look at the number of Harlequin shirts in the frame when Greenshields was under pressure. I would say it was 5-1 he's outnumbered here. Obviously, the pace of Dawn, his timing of his run, and the skill to jump above his opponent to catch it is magnificent. But the Quins really are up for this.
Gale gets the try. both tries so far for this Harlequin side, and now surely we'll get his first success with the boots. Bang in front of the posts, and Harlequins, well, it was a nightmare start, a nightmare end to last season, a great start to this new campaign for them so far. They lead by 10 points to 0.
Beautiful kick, wasn't it, by Chad Randall? It's a pretty smart move as well by the new coach, Rob Powell, to take Randall away from the position of the hooker. It gives him a new role. Can control things out there as the halfback. Doesn't have to do too much work, as he's had to do over the years by playing in that offensive line as a hooker. And boy, hasn't it reaped the rewards. What a start.
I'll tell you what, we've had coming up to 7 minutes, and we haven't mentioned Catalan. All they've done is go backwards. They've hardly had their hands on the ball. It's been all Harlequins so far, and Catalan just looking to get some possession themselves to see if they can do something with it. But again, Harlequins keeping this ball alive.
Biggest problem for the Catalans at the moment, and the Quins are just cutting them apart in and around the play the ball area. That inside pass, Trent Robinson, the Catalans coach, has got to get that message out and say, look, tighten up. First and second markers, they've got to work harder.
Greenshields went scuttering across the pitch to collect that kick from Randall, and Catalan do have the ball in their hands at the moment. Not been the best of starts for them. In possession with Cyril Gossard, and Trent Robinson, the new man, at the helm for the Catalan Dragons, succeeding Kevin Walters. Knows there's a long way to go in this game, and his side trying an imaginative pass there. It didn't come off.
It was Tony Guijo, the standoff number 14, a skillful player, one who will excite, but at times taking risks. And that one there with the pass backfired for his team, who are now again having to go backwards, as the Quins here have just started at a greater tempo.
Here's Jamie O'Callaghan. Played for Ireland in the Autumn Internationals last year, and acquitted himself very well. And again, they're keeping this ball alive. It's with Mike Burnett now, a loan signing from Hull FC. Mike Burnett getting a chance at regular first team rugby league. That's the 5th tackle. Well, they go to the air again. Yes, Randall does. Good crossfield kick, maybe not quite enough depth on it, but it's still bouncing everywhere. It's still loose, and they're going to get something out of this.
Well, the array of kicks that the Quins side are putting in, really troubling now. A kick's only as good as its chase. Nobody's prepared from the Catalan side to have a crack at that ball. It bounces, and Luke Gale again is the person that just affects that tackle. A goal line dropout. With the way this game's gone, I reckon the Quins are going to score in this next set of 6.
First of the game, Catalan still missing Thomas Bosk and Vincent Deportes, and both of those two some way away from fitness. It could be back end of May before Deportes is back, and into June before Thomas Bosk is available. There's a Catalan Dragon player down on the ground as a result of that collision.
Oliver Wilkes ran that ball in at 100 miles an hour. Nothing wrong with that. Head in the wrong position. Is it Payer? Seta Sarr, yeah. Full-blooded contact, head in the wrong place. He maybe just catches the shoulder, but Oliver Wilkes will see that as 1-0 to the forwards.
Pardon up the Cumbrian Wilkes, much travelled player. Seta Sarr had a solid season for the Dragons last year in his debut season in France, but some concern out there.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Oliver Wilkes is running, trying to gain as many metres as he can, and Seta Sarr hasn't moved. He looks like he's in La La Land.
So concern in the Catalan camp. It's not been a good start for them to this season, conceding points early on, and now again in the first game we saw Matt King having to be stretchered off, and now it looks as though it's going to be another call for the stretcher, although Seta Sarr does appear to be coming round.
It happened in the last game, and the last time there was a lengthy pause, a side scored. Again, keeping your concentration while all this is going around is imperative.
I think the break for the Harlequin side would be one they didn't want. They were there. Look, Oliver Wills pumped up. Trent Robertson, I know Setamatasa certainly wouldn't want this break in play. The pain he's going through at the moment, but Trent reflecting on his thoughts, I think, here now to see what does he need to do, what instructions need to go to his side here. They've started poorly and their opponents are on fire.
I think the message, Phil, is that Robinson has got to say, let's get into this game. They don't seem to have the enthusiasm that has been shown by the Quins.
Call has gone out, incidentally, for the stretcher to come on. Referee Robert Hicks has just signalled to the sidelines. Jerome Guisset is on the field. Guisset, of course, retired now and on the coaching staff for the Dragons. Big influence. There he is in the middle of the shots. Guisset, how they could do with him on the field as well. Such an influential figure.
Well, last year the Catalan Dragons lost the first 4 games of the season and never really recovered from that point. I think this season, on paper, they have a squad capable of making the top 8. When you go through the playing records of the players that they've had there and the potential of some of the younger players they have also in the squad, you have to feel that this side massively underperformed in 2010 and should really be challenging for top 8 or even possibly top 6.
Harlequins 10-0 up. A good start for them, but stopped in their tracks now.
Yeah, it may be a disadvantage to them, but the most important factor is to make sure that Saar is attended to correctly, and that is something that we do very, very well in our game. The new coach at Harlequins, Rob Powell, must be very, very pleased indeed, because the enthusiasm shown, the ability and the way that they are working the inside pass at the play the ball area, as I mentioned, is that the Catalans' defence around the ruck has been quite poor. Got to improve on that, and at least Trent Robinson has now the time to get the message out to him. The Catalan side are having a good old natter to each other. They need to.
Rob Powell is the new Harlequins coach. It's some step up, this is, from coaching the Newcastle University side in the British Universities Student Athletics Cup, and then South London Storm to the summer conference title as he did in 2006, to now coaching a Super League side. 30 years of age, currently youngest, not all-time youngest. That honour belongs to Steve McCormack from his Salford City Reds days, but for Rob Powell, it's some step up. His Harlequin side staying alert, just doing a little ball drill in the middle of the field as Setamatasa, the Catalan Dragons centre, is moved onto the stretcher. Worrying time this for Catalan, who of course looking to improve on the bottom place finish last season.
I think there were some positive signs from Setamatasa, though. He did seem to be moving, and I got the sense that this is more precautionary, probably a concussion injury more than a spinal one, and for that we're all very pleased.
There's still plenty of action to come here, still plenty of this game to come, but once this is done, another couple of games on this Saturday in Cardiff. Castleford Tigers take on Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. That's at 5 o'clock. What a game that'll be, and Wakefield cock a hoop now that a takeover seems to have been wrapped up, and they stay in action and in Super League. That's coming up at 5 o'clock, and then the day is rounded off by the grudge match, St Helens against the Wigan Warriors, the champions, 7 o'clock. And of course that's available in 3D as well here on Sky Sports, and that's worth waiting for. St Helens certainly looking to put the champions in their place this evening when that game kicks off.
Bill, something that happened in the previous game, when a player left the pitch, it was the reshuffle that was very important, particularly to Warrington. Both teams have a very big, a very physical, forward-orientated bench. I just see below me Steve Menz is warming up, wondering whether he'll perhaps go into the centre, or there'll be a reshuffle that will mean a forward-type player might go into the centre.
We're still waiting for the former Sydney City Rooster, Setamata Sarr, to be carried from the field, the second player to leave this Cardiff pitch on a stretcher already at this Millennium Magic weekend. Harlequins already 10-0 up here. Haven't even got 10 minutes on the clock yet. Menzies warming up on the sideline, the senior citizen of Super League, 37 years of age, left Bradford after 2 really hard-working seasons, unproductive, ever-present last season, only 1 miss in 58 games, I think it is, for Menzies. And the former Manly figurehead, what a great influence he was at that club, and now Catalan hoping that in the twilight years of his career, Menzies can have a similar effect in the south of France. Signed a 1-year deal, having had 2 seasons at the Bulls.
And he scored 12 tries last year in Superliga for the Bradford Bulls, which would have made him the top try scorer at the Catalan Dragons, just to show the strike potential that Steele he has at his age.
Well, the irony of that was the top try scorer was Clint Greenshields, who only played 13 games, having missed the start of the season with a broken leg, and he still managed to end up as top try scorer.
Yeah, they did underperform, and I think as the year progresses, we'll see them improve. I've no doubt this year that they have to do, really, from the way they were last season.
Be interesting to see how the Quins will play the ball, and maybe they may put them under pressure.
Some work here between, I think, the medical team from the Millennium Stadium and the French medical team. Perhaps that's the reason why this has taken longer than we're used to seeing. The most care and attention given to Setamata Sarr.
Yeah, coming into 9 minutes, the game has been stopped, but Setamata Sarr leaving the field on that stretcher.
Just over the line.
And obviously, whiplash injury in that collision with Oliver Wilkes. And when play resumes, as it does now, it'll be Wilkes who'll play the ball for Harlequins. The players have got to get back up to speed, and it is Menzies who comes on the field as Setamata Sarr leaves. It's Menzies who replaces him.
You ready, Steve? Okay. Tackle 1. Time back on.
So, can Catalan recover from that blow?
2. Move! Steve, go.
Harlequins then in possession right in front of those posts, coming straight up the middle of the field with Danny Ward, 30 years of age now, in his 6th season at Harlequins. He's done well. Here is Mike Burnett, and Burnett almost through. Needed a good tackle from Menzies on the field, makes the tackle, gives the penalty. Eventful start for Steve Menzies.
Well, they shift the ball. Mike Burnett just skipped through that tackle from Scott Duro. That's the reason why they're so close to the line, and now with 6 players, 5 left now after this.
Go.
Ellis. Randall, here is Gale, already on a hat-trick. Gale, the ball goes out wide to Clubb. Clubb comes back in field, and O'Callaghan was screaming for that, but they're still going straight up the middle of the field. The ball is pinging around everywhere, and eventually it's in the hands of Randall, but they didn't make the most of that opportunity, Harlequins. Gale skipping his way through. Catalan back on their own try line. Can Harlequins capitalise on this possession?
Play on.
Play on, says the referee. They keep the ball alive. Here is Burnett, a lively start from Burnett, and again he's broken through the tackle, but the pass to nobody. Well, in the end it was to Ben Farah, who managed to get his hands on the ball and diffuse the danger for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, that's Burnett going hard for the line, maybe too ambitious, throws the ball, but I think Cyril Stackle on the left wing for the Catalan Dragons did save a certain try with his intervention earlier in this set of possession. It was important for the Catalan Dragons. It really was scramble defence near their own line.
Now then, can the Dragons put together a good set of 6? No, they can't, because they come up with the error. And it's David Ferriol.
Yeah, he didn't get him though.
Trying to get the ball away, in fact. And Jean-Philippe Bale just couldn't pick that one up off his bootlaces.
I think we've got to give some compliment to Andy Ellis and Oliver Wilkes too for that tackle. I'm not 100% convinced it was an attempted offload, more the shoulder contact in the tackle that forced the ball free, and Quins are loving this.
Well, it's all Harlequins so far. Here is Tony Clubb, ended last season on a high with those 4 tries for England against PNG in Auckland, giving England something to smile about at the end of the Four Nations tournament. Ellis serves the ball up to Chad Randall. Randall taking him on, looking to go through a gap. Tony Gigot missed the first tackle. Good job, Gregory Muniz was there. Now here goes David Howell. Howell has lost the ball, and Menzies will swoop on it to pick it up for the Catalan Dragons. Wilkes could have been penalised there, a little shove in the back. Here is Greenshields.
Well, it's at this point that the Catalan coach, Trent Robinson, will want his side to gain some control of the match here now. Get us far downfield and get some sort of a kick, just to buy themselves some land and breathing space. You see them here now clustered close to the field, they're almost all together in a huddle. They get up towards the halfway line and are awarded a penalty here for some interference in the play of the ball.
They really are trying to speed the ruck up now, and it's going to cost many teams a bit of learning. They're going to give away many penalties before they get the message. It's just interesting. Andy Ellis at hooker really does give good service, and it gives Chad Randall time and space just to look for those one-on-one confrontations he wants.
Lapini Pier, a good run from Lapini Pier, another one of the new recruits, the Tongan international, and that's given something for Catalan Dragons to build upon mainly. Here is Ferriol now, looking over his shoulder for some support. Nobody there, and Harlequins, for the first time in the game really, under pressure on their own try line. Can they survive it? That's a good tackle. It's Wilkes again in there. But they're going in the corner, and again, Quins scrambling well. They've withstood 4 tackles so far. Duro. Here is Greenshields. Greenshields trying to take him on himself, the 5th tackle. Duro is in there. Little stab kick through, way too strong. Menzies going to chase it anyway, just in case. That's promising, at least for the Catalan Dragons, putting a bit of pressure under the Harlequins' defence.
Well, it's taken them almost 15 minutes to get within sight of the opponent's try line. When they did, they'd move the ball around. I do like the pass that Tony Gigot threw to Ben Farah. I've got some skill. We just haven't seen enough of it yet, and the Dragon supporters who've come over here to Cardiff will want to be seeing a repeat of that, rather than the team stood close to their own try line.
You're offside.
Offside. The referee was warning the Catalan Dragons early on that they were offside. Robert Hicks was a man of his word. Well, way offside.
Perhaps a reflection of the amount of work they've had to do in defending. Sometimes I don't think when we watch the game we appreciate how more tiring having to defend is than having possession. That's the reason now why I think some cracks may appear in the Dragons' defence.
Ollie Wilkes plays the ball just inside the Catalan Dragons 20. Here goes Ellis again. Gale, 2 tries to his name already. Dawn swinging it wide. Here is Rob Purdom, the Harlequins captain. Great offload from him. Finds Tony Clubb. Clubb, big imposing figure in the Quins centres. Takes some stopping, but Catalan able to do that through their captain, Gregory Muniz. Randall throws the pass to Burnett, and Burnett again hitting that one in his stride, looking for a quick play the ball. Randall serves it up for Wilkes, and Wilkes scenting a rare try there, but he stopped just short of the try line as Harlequins look to capitalise again. Bailey, but Bailey is hounded, and that ball goes backwards off a Catalan player and ends up in the hands of the Dragons' Scott Duro.
Well, there's some very hopeful defending from the Catalan Dragons out wide on their left here as the ball comes free. A knock on here. Celebrations all around for Harlequins. It's a disastrous opening quarter to the season for the Catalan Dragons. Cyril Stackle takes the ball into the tackle, and the referee deems that as he's getting back up to his feet, just loses possession to the floor. Now then, from scrum position, this sort of attacking zone, we often see Luke Dawn's pace.
Catalan looking accusingly at Danny Ward there, as though he had something to do with that incident, but it's head and feed to Harlequins. Here is Dawn, and Dawn finds Clubb, and Clubb ball out wide to Melling. And Melling in the corner, or is he? Referee Robert Hicks, though, wants him to go back and look at the scrum.
Well, they're looking for a possible obstruction here from this scrum play. I think it is well executed. Not sure there are any illegal plays. Oh, David Howell, I think, comes in, does it, to take out a man.
And Phil, both those two players are on the ground. There was an almighty collision.
Now, is it an accidental collision, Barry, or does Howell intentionally run at his opposing? Is it Ben Farrer?
No, I think Ben Farrer is looking at the ball. I think both players are looking at the ball. There's a horrendous head clash. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some blood.
Yes, it's Tony Guijo.
And to be fair, the standoff is moving towards the Harlequin player as well, so I think this try may be given.
Chris Melling doesn't appear to be that convinced.
I don't. I
Look
think
at resignation on his face.
This is a penalty.
I think it'll be a try, Phil. You're right.
Even if there was little intent from David Howell, I just don't think you can do that.
I thought he may have got away with it because Tony Guijo, to me, made an advance towards Howell. Well, maybe that could be the turning point to get the Catalans, the French outfit, back into this game, because they've been very lackluster.
I'm the biggest fan of players from scrums to try and attack and score like that. So although they didn't score on that play, it's such an exciting time, I think, now, if you're a Harlequin supporter, to know now that they're going to, under Rob Powell again, attempt to play that sort of rugby league. It's attacking, it's attractive to watch, and hopefully it'll produce some more tries from this season.
That long delay for the injury to Setamata Sarr, meaning that we've only had coming up to 18 minutes of this game so far. And Harlequins ahead by 10 tries to nil. 2 early tries from Luke Gale. 10 points to nil they lead. And looking to rediscover that early touch. Catalans looking to discover any sort of touch. The only touch they find, though, is on Damien Blanche's wing. And the pass from Ben Farrer. Well, it came off a Harlequin's body, in fact.
Come on, guys,
pretty good defence, though. Burnett.
Come on, fellas.
Melling getting involved.
Get the game going. Let's keep it quick. React on the move, yeah?
Coach Rob Powell will be very pleased with the way that Harlequins with ball in hand has been impressive. So their defence, they're working hard and they look super fit.
Got to face that way, mate. You can't point it in that way. No, I've not let the ball go in.
Feeding at the scrum, Steve, I think he was saying. Body position wasn't right. He must face.
Tight heads, balling.
Randall getting it right that time and almost going without the ball then. He was so pleased with himself.
Move!
Job done.
Oh, go.
So Harlequins having to come from deep. They quite enjoy this Magic Weekend concept. They've won 3 from 4 games. They've got penalty there. And of course last year they produced the shock of the weekend, beating Hull FC 25 points to 8 up at Edinburgh. And they've started this Magic Weekend well.
Guys, we get out. All we've got to do is move.
Ended last season horribly, though, with a real poor run of form that cost them any hope of a playoff place. Only Catalan were worse than them, in fact, last season. Now here is Rob Purdham enjoying a well-earned testimonial season. Well, it's just started, really, for Purdham. All the work. 10 years in London Rugby League for the Cumbrian, and he didn't imagine that when he joined London Broncos back in 2002 from Whitehaven. He was telling me what an introduction it was. He went out for New Year's Eve 2001 in Whitehaven. The next day he was on a plane to Australia to join the Broncos in pre-season training. He's still going strong now for Harlequins.
10 metres, Clint.
And Quins are going strong. Here is Gale, long pass out wide, quick hands from Clubb, too quick, into touch. O'Callaghan couldn't handle that.
Just trying a little bit too much there, Tony Clubb. They haven't had possession for quite some time, and Rob Powell, the new coach, will be not happy with that. They really should have, we've got the likes of Chad Randall out there that can control the kicking game. They really should have opted to get the ball into the in-goal area.
Movement! Come on.
So Catalan. Quarter of the game gone. And really, just the one threat on the Harlequins line so far from them. Here is Menzies. Menzies. Here's Ben Farrer. He's the nephew of the former Wigan centre. Andrew Farrer is Ben Farrer.
He was on the end of some very nice passing, wasn't he, from left to right.
Go.
Get to the end of a set here now, and they're running with Menzies. Farrer again.
But Farrer, can he get the pass away? Well, he can, but Chad Randall was alert to that one and picks up the pieces.
He was trying to find Steve Menzies, who was actually in front of them, and he tipped it up, hoping to buy himself a couple of seconds, but fortunately enough for Quins, Chad Randall was there to regather that ball.
3.
Harlequins in possession just inside their own half as Jamie O'Callaghan plays the ball.
4.
And the other winger, Chris Melling, sets off. Former Wigan player Melling, very versatile. Mike Burnett.
Last.
That's the 5th tackle. Burnett gets a quick play the ball. Randall on the last crossfield kick goes behind his own players in actual fact, and it's well taken by Gigot.
Well, they're starting to creep upfield, the Dragons. They're starting the sets of possession closer to the halfway. That's a positive sign for them here now. They're starting to tilt the field more even. They've been running uphill for the last 20 minutes.
Go. Well done, Dan.
Zeta Matassar is back on his feet, which is good news for the Catalan Dragons. Whether he'll be cleared to return to the field of play is a different matter, because it was an almighty thump he got, but here's an almighty break from Remy Casti, and Casti has really inspired the team, but then he's just too enthusiastic, didn't think he was tackled, and got back to his feet and said, look.
He's that far up the pitch, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't go that far on his holidays, Bill. A prop forward making a break like that, unfortunately it does touch the floor.
Well spotted by the official as well. It's just the ball carrying arm, as Pat has just mentioned, just brushed the grass. That's sufficient.
Disappointment for the Catalan Dragons then. That was the most promising break, the most promising clean break they'd made all game so far, and it ends up with Quins getting a penalty.
Can they feed off that though, to find some enthusiasm amongst themselves, you know, in defence? Very often when a side do something positive with the ball, you see them then fire up here now and get really into their opponents, forcing it. And look here now, you're starting to see more forceful in defence.
There's Chris Bailey, been in the country for some time now, Bailey, all the way through that, all the snow we had back in December. First real sighting of that, and his first taste of Brussels sprouts as well, he was saying. What an introduction to life in Super League for him. It's Quins in possession. Lamont Bryan stretching for that ball, did well to take it off the pitch, and he gets a pass like that straight away. Here is Randall. This time it's a better kick from him into the corner. Greenshields comes for it. Blanche was there, but it's Greenshields who claims it. And here is Damien Blanche now. Well, that was fortunate for him as he got that pass away, and it just...
Surrender!
Ian Henderson not really anticipating that, I don't think, but he was alert to it. Damien Blanche come here from Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. 2-year deal. And Catalan now, they're settling maybe a bit to their game now. Bit of fluidity about their play as Scott Durow puts the kick in. And Luke Dawn is across to field that one.
Great play though by Jamie O'Callaghan. Look how urgent he was to get back alongside to take possession. That's a good sign for the Quins. You've got wingers wanting to link up with a fullback on kick returns.
Movement, come on.
Jamie O'Callaghan doing well to keep his place in this Quins side, because of course they've got Mark Calderwood, who's on trial for a month, and Carl Price as well on loan from Wigan. So they've got some wing options, but O'Callaghan, the local boy, has kept his place. Penalty to Harlequins, and indication from Robert Hicks is that Jamil Fakir just put a little bit of the forearm in there.
One or two of the Dragons defenders in the middle of the field have been struggling to get back on side. I think the referee's shown some leniency. But here the high tackle, Jamal Fakir, left arm around the head of Nick Cooper. That's it. Just...
He is okay.
That's why they call him Nick Coops. Here is Lamont Bryan, another one of the local lads who's progressed well through the Quins ranks.
Steve, you're not square.
Andy Ellis. It's Gale now. Oh, Dawn did well to take that pass.
That's okay.
It's gone backwards, says the referee.
Sorry.
Looked like
miraculous.
He looked like he were playing keepy-uppy with himself then. But Lamont Bryan, one of a number of players in the London area. Phil Jones does a tremendous job down there with the rest of his development staff. The London youngsters are pushing through now.
Here is Burnett. Burnett. This time Duro and Menzies don't allow him to make so much progress. David Howell. Howell across the field and loses ground. That's the 5th tackle. Where's the kick going to come from? Gale is positioned to make that little grubber kick over the top, chip kick over the top, and now then, will they get something else out of this? I think Catalan just to stay in the field of play. They think they do. Robert Hicks thinks otherwise.
He hit the floor.
Great kick.
He hit the floor.
More importantly, though, was the effort here from the defenders. Luke Gale, Rob Powell, they catch him, drive him backwards, there's nothing wrong, and the ball hits the floor in the in-goal area.
He'll be happy with that, Rob Powell, the coach. Mentioned it a few moments ago, is that Harlequins frittered away the opportunity to apply the pressure, not introducing the kick on that occasion.
Let's go. Time back on.
Barry often mentions the kick's only as good as a chase, and that was pretty good.
Second goal line dropout then that Harlequins have forced from this Catalan side, and Lamont Bryan runs the ball back with some vigorosity.
Go.
Just inside the 30.
2. Movement. Hold. Go.
Luke Ambler plays the ball. Now it's Chris Bailey. Luke Ambler, another player on loan from the Rhinos. Tony Clubb now must be really confident. That's performance for England
2 feet.
in the Four Nations must have given him some confidence, must have increased his confidence, in fact. Of course, no Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook in this Harlequin side. We'll see him in action later for St Helens against the Wigan Warriors, coming up later here on Sky Sports. Little chip kick ahead from Bailey, but Catalan Dragons managed to tidy that one up. They have the ball.
I can play it. Go.
Green Shields.
Move. 2.
Well, there are a number of forwards for the Catalan Dragons who are gasping for air at the moment. This penalty helps them to get away from their own danger zone. But without Green Shields and some outside backs, they'd be struggling for men to put the hand up and carry the ball when in possession.
Okay.
So a relieving penalty, and Scott Duro thumps that one into touch. Former Newcastle Knights, Duro.
You did for me anyway.
Making his Super League debut for the Dragons here, as is Steve Menzies.
What? Move! Come on! Hold. Go.
Fakir plays the ball.
Move! 2.
Now it's with Cyril Gossard. Duro. Muniz. Green Shields. Tony Gigot. Gigot forcing Farah to stretch for that ball. Damien Blanche. And Blanche has gone without that.
That was a shame, that, Bill. It was the first time we've seen Catalan throw the ball. A great catch by Farah just before that. Did Mellin knock it out of the hands of Damien Blanche? He's certainly appealing for that. But referees will always tell players, secure the ball, keep hold of it.
Not in that case. It's a knock-on. He's got a hold.
He's a good player, Damien Blanche.
Behind him. He's not solid.
Well, in fact, Robert Hicks just telling Scott Duro, I think it was, he's got to hold on to it.
Well, it could apply to the rest of the team as well, and I think Trent Robinson will echo that comment at half-time. They just haven't been able to hold on to it. They've lost possession too often. They've conceded more penalties than their opponents, and it's the reason now why they are struggling going into this last 10-minute period. Have the Quins here now got the energy and the sense to try and exert the influence? Oh, they've lost possession. Lamont Bryan's lost it.
Jamal Fakir came out of the line. Very physical player, Jamal Fakir. Put a great shot on, dislodged the ball.
Well, this is more promising for the Catalan Dragons if they can capitalise on this now. Here is Menzies. Menzies to Farah, but just slipped as he took that pass and lost a little bit of momentum. Damien Blanche, Duro, Greg Muniz, he gets the pass away to Henderson. Ian Henderson back in Super League after a 3-year absence, the former Bradford player. Last game in Super League was that heartbreaking performance against the Wigan Warriors in the playoffs when they lost a 30 points to 6 lead. Lost the game. That was Henderson's last experience of Super League. This one hasn't been altogether so happy so far, but there could be something for them to smile about here as Menzies puts the kick in, appeals for the knock-on, but somehow Harlequins managed to get a hold of the ball. It was Randall who was there to pounce on it.
The Catalan players won't be happy with Menzies then. It was back to one, and he chose to put that ball on the end of his toe and try and get the try.
I don't think Menzies realised that referee Robert Hicks has actually waved his arms and say that's another set of 6, and you'll see Menzies here try to push the ball through.
Nick Kuparitsas goes across the field, the Greek international. He plays the ball, and on the last, it's Dawn who thumps the kick downfield, and it's not a bad one. That gets away from Clint Greenshields, and he has to turn, and good chase from Harlequins. Greenshields has got Damien Blanche outside him, and Blanche was well positioned there to make a bit of progress. The tackle from Randall. Menzies trying to bust through the Harlequins defenders. Quins leading by 10 points to 0. All those points coming early on in the game, and all of them from Luke Gale. It's Gale making the tackle there on that far side of the field on Gossard. But can they get something positive on the scoreboard before half-time? The Dragon supporters appealing for a high tackle on Henderson. Henderson not impressed either. Looks at referee Robert Hicks. He signals it's the last tackle as the kick goes up, and Dawn comes for it and gets a hold of it.
I think Henderson may have been appealing for a penalty for Lamont Bryan not being square rather than the high tackle. I do think the markers weren't set, but it wasn't awarded. And an excellent catch again. We've seen him do it in attack, now in defence. And they've lost possession though. Maybe just starting the cracks appearing here now for Harlequins.
Ellis looking very fatigued there as he approached that play the ball. There was a certain weariness about him, and it was as he went to pass it.
Well, Steve Menzies actually hit the arm of Andy Ellis, making him lose control of that pass. Andy Ellis, who's had a good start to the game.
Get ready.
So still 7 minutes to go in this first half because of the injury to Setamat Assar, which held things up for about 9 minutes while he was carried off. And since then, it's been Catalan who've maybe had the best of the game. They haven't got anything to show for it, but certainly after the hammering they were taking earlier on, they've steadied things. They've had more of the possession. Haven't done anything with it yet, but can they do something now? 20 minutes out. 20 metres out, I should say. It's with Farah again. Farah gets the ball back in field. Oh, it could have come off for Menzies, but it ricochets kindly for Harlequins again.
Well, it's another example of them losing possession early in the tackle count. They've wasted a number of players, potential players that they've had up the sleeve, and they've lost them for a variety of reasons. And I think that will be the biggest issue that they speak about at half-time. Using possession more intelligently as Tony Clubb throws a very speculative pass.
And not surprisingly, Clubb is thumping the ground in frustration. Cannot believe what he's just done. Talk about a rush of blood.
Well, this is amazing. Rob Powell will be just shaking his head and saying, well, yeah, he knows that he could have given Catalans the opportunity at a time when they just had to settle things down. They haven't done much possession over the last 10 minutes. He's furious with himself.
The groundsman won't be that impressed either.
There's nothing wrong with the idea. He had a player in space, just didn't have the skill to find the pass to him.
Put the ball in.
Head and feed then to the Catalan Dragons, only 10 metres out. This is a golden opportunity for them to get some points on the board just before half-time. A game that Harlequins seemingly were going to run away with early on.
Offside.
And they get the penalty, Catalan do, offside.
I don't know, mate. It was in goal.
So Harlequins right on their own try line, trying to keep the Catalan Dragons at bay, but can they do so as Green Shields goes for the corner, spins, tries to get the ball down, he's just short, Robert Hicks right on the spot. Giroud now to Menzies, short ball, oh, and Gigot could only pat it on to Luke Gale. Tony Gigot had a brief spell with Harlequins a few years ago, and doing Harlequins a favour there.
Trying to see who's going to give possession to, gives it to Catalan here. So was it not an initial knock on by Tony Gigot? He's gone backwards, he hasn't gone over the advantage line and then lost possession.
Yeah, I think Robert Hicks, the official, has made a little bit of a mistake there, but more pressure for the Quins.
I've only got 5 in.
Well, the referee just asking Harlequins to get the required number of bodies in the scrum.
Get your head in. Time's
And again,
time is already off.
well, they're used to this at the Millennium Stadium. Scrums being reset repeatedly.
Ball in. Time back on. Out.
Here is Gigot. Can he atone for that error?
First time I can recall him taking the line on, neither him or Durrell have done it often enough.
Could have got another penalty there, Catalan. Their supporters certainly thought so. And they're right underneath the post now. Henderson just weighing up the options and maybe fancies his own chances. No, he doesn't, but he gets the ball back. It's Gigot again. Harlequins defence scuttling across the field. Blanche goes to ground just short of the try line. If they can survive this onslaught, it'll be quite an achievement for this Harlequin side. Remy Casti now. 3 tackles gone. 4 gone. Henderson shrugs off the first challenge, then gets the ball out wide. Nobody wants it. Menzies does. Menzies into the hands of Green Shield. That's the 5th tackle. Looking for a quick play the ball. Gets it. Dureau, little chip kick in, and it's well fielded by Luke Ambler. It was who was there. Did well there, Ambler, because that ball came towards him at pace and he snapped it up.
Well, the Harlequins defence at the end of the first half has mirrored their attack at the start of it. Excellent play there, good cooperation, people standing in the right position and having the right enthusiasm to do the necessary job.
Lamont Bryan bringing the ball away for this Harlequin side. 4 tackles gone. Bailey. That ball comes squirting out in the tackle. The referee says he lost possession.
I think that was stripped, me. I think that was stripped. I think Catalan have got an arm in there.
I called hell.
I think Gossard ripped it out himself.
No, I called hell.
But a lot of the players in and around the ruck that you're talking about, Steve, they're often coming out to one side and putting the ball back behind the other, hoping to catch the side that doesn't think the ball's coming to them, hoping to catch them having a nap.
Menzies, Green Shields just had to turn and take that pass slightly behind the body. But this is another good opportunity for Catalan. Certainly had their share of possession in the last 15 minutes or so. Henderson stepping over bodies, round bodies, and eventually gets the pass away. Now this is a good opportunity for them. And again, great defence from this Harlequin side. It was Sebastian Raga who was desperately trying to keep that ball alive. And he went out of play, the ball went out of play, and Clubb gets the plaudits from his teammates.
Yeah, no,
they're just going to show here now that they're willing to work hard enough in defence here. They push him over the sideline. And the Dragons are attacking play here. Well, it's very lateral, as people would say, towards the side, not towards the try line.
It's been a great result. It's been a great feature, and Rob Powell will be very, very happy with that, because they're defending as a unit, getting across there. Catalans obviously feel that the left-hand side defence of the Harlequins, they think there's a weak link there, and of course Chad Randall has that tendency to go out there in defence, but they really have knuckled down and got through some really strong work.
Referee has called held, and
took him to ground after they called held again. I don't think that's quite allowed nowadays, really. That's cheating in a way, isn't it? You're buying extra time.
Well, he was all the interpretation is whether he was on his way to the ground, and they couldn't really do anything to stop his momentum there. Well, they almost got him into touch, so it's a positive result for Harlequins there. His club could have conceded possession. Here is David Howell now. Howell got a high shot and looked at the referee and said, hey, well, did you not spot that? And it's Jamil Fakir again, I think.
That's the second occasion now, isn't it? We've seen from the big fellas, Jamil Fakir doing his side any service at all with those silly penalties.
Harlequins hoping to start this season better than they finished 2010, winning just one of their last 7 games. And that was against the Catalan Dragons. Well, half-time, as the hooter sounds, they've earned the penalty and they're going to try and extend the lead. They're going to go for goal, I think. And Gale has signalled to the sidelines for his kicking tee.
It's great to watch players develop from one season to the next, and that was a great little example there. Lamont Bryan ran the ball there with greater confidence than I saw him hold it last season. Honestly, put himself between 2 defenders, managed to win that little collision. His side rewarded a penalty, and he really is growing year on year.
Luke Gale, 2 tries, 1 conversion. All the points so far in this first half belong to him and Harlequins. And another opportunity here for him to add to his tally. But a long way out. Difficult kick this for Gale. He set that one off. It's curling in towards those posts, but it's just wide. Cyril Stakel takes the tackle, and that is the end of a stop-start first half and a long stoppage, of course, with Satamata Sarr stretchered off. But a satisfactory first half, certainly for Harlequins. At the break, they lead the Catalan Dragons by 10 points to 0.
Yes, Bill summed it up perfectly, a stop-start affair, and it was the start that Harlequins made that would really have brought a smile to the face of their new coach, Rob Powell. They went into a 10-0 lead, then we had an 8-minute stoppage for the injury to Satamata Sarr, and it completely disrupted the Quins. But they hang on at half-time.